Buddy, what is going on? I am super excited to see all of you here. We have an absolute packed house. And, we want to get right to this today because if you're like me, you hate writing. If you're like me, writing's a pain, but you know that it's a necessary evil about having a business online. And what we're going to share with you today is exactly how you can overcome that if you don't like writing. If you do like writing, you're really going to love this. And we're going to show you some case studies. We're going to show you how to get this done so that you can actually get 1,000 readers in just one day to your book, to your information, and actually having people that are targeted looking at your information. And we have a lot to cover today. We're going to get started right now. So I want to make sure that you close down any other windows you've got open, any distractions, and get ready because today's presenter has done some absolute amazing things with the system that he's going to show you guys today and share with you how you can do this yourself. So if you can hear us, if you're ready, if you've got everything closed down, you're ready to find out how you can become an instant author in just 1 hour and get 1,000 readers in just one day, then type into the question box 1 hour, because that's all it takes is 1 hour. That's all this training is going to be, is 1 hour, and this is going to be the most valuable hour that you have had this entire week. So Robert, without any further ado, welcome to the call and thanks for setting this up for us.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. We're going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff, especially because it's just one of those situations where you need to have a lot of people come to your site. I mean, you're never going to not be hungry for more visitors, more email subscribers, more people on your webinar, more people buying your product. Life is just so much easier when you can put up a web page and make a bunch of money. Life is just so much easier when you can send out one email and get a bunch of responses. Life is so much easier when you can make your one blog post or make your one Facebook comment or your one Facebook update and get all kinds of different responses, and that's what everyone wants, but no one really knows how to get it. And a lot of the ways that you hear of how to get it usually involve things that maybe are here today, gone tomorrow, flavor of the week kind of stuff, or exploit this one hole in LinkedIn, exploit this one hole in Google. And I mean, the reality is that if you have been on the internet for longer than one day and you've been marketing a business for longer than one day, then you're just going to basically leave traces, leave entrails of yourself all around the internet. So if someone searches for your name, then they might find forum posts, articles, things like that. And just gonna what's really cool is after a while, people find you from all kinds of different places, and you don't always know where they find you. What do I mean? Well, I mean that a few months ago, this email came in from someone saying, I just read your book called Freelance Programming for Profit, gave me some great ideas, and they were like asking me a question. And I was thinking, well, what the heck? What book is this? So I said, okay, Freelance Programming for Profit. So I went over to our trusty Amazon.com website, and I was like, okay, what's this? Freelance Programming for, what's if I can spell, for profit. And I thought, oh, cool, there's a paperback that I co-authored with someone. And so what happened was I gave this person what are called private label rights to some of my articles, and he kind of put them together into a $13 paperback book. And I don't know how many of these that he sold. I spoke with him a few weeks after he sold this, and he sold a few dozen copies just from having this book online and just from this being listed in this search engine called Amazon.com. A lot of people don't think of sites like Amazon.com as search engines, but isn't that kind of what it is? Someone goes here looking for a book on WordPress security, and they go and they find books. But what's really cool is that Kindle, which is their digital book publishing platform, has taken off so quickly that anyone can now be pretty much on the same playing field as big-time authors like Jack Canfield, Tim Ferriss, anyone that you can think of in your industry. And what a lot of people don't realize is that if you know how to click the upload button on a Microsoft Word document, then you can get listed on Amazon.com. A lot of people don't realize that it's free. You can charge any price you want, and my favorite part about all this is that you can update your book, you can change things, you can change typos, you can change prices after you're online, You can even take it down if you want, if you really hate your own book. So it's not like it's set in stone. It's not like back in the dark ages when if you had an idea for a book, you'd have to sell it to a publisher. You'd have to write it the way they wanted you to. You'd have to take their paycheck. It was worse than getting a job, worse than minimum wage. Now, if you have an idea for a book, if you have some book content, you can just upload a file to Amazon. And in this case, he published this on their physical book publishing platform called CreateSpace. And I ordered this book in the mail, came a few days later, and opened it up. And sure enough, here were the articles that I gave him permission to use. And I think he added in some of his own stuff, but I mean, he uploaded a Word document, and just because he knew how to make the size a certain way and the margins a certain way, and he knew where to go, what buttons to click, what buttons not to click, then he was able to put a book on there. And a lot of people will tell you they have the strategy, and they'll tell you it's really easy to make $30,000 from Amazon Kindle, and a month later, then you'll never hear from them. Or they'll tell you this, and you look them up on Amazon, and you won't find a single book with their name on it because they don't really do it. And what a lot of them will show you are things like they'll say, well, go to like the Google keyword tool, and you know what? Just to kind of show you, let's put a book online right now. So what I happen to have is I have a series of interviews that I've conducted with a few of my friends, a few of my marketing friends. So there's, I don't know, maybe like 5, 6 different interviews. So I just, basically I went to a few seminars, right? A few offline events. And I met some of these people years ago, but then I just sent them a Facebook message at some point saying, well, can we just have a conversation? Can we record it? Can I ask you a few questions? And at the end, then you tell my subscribers, my listeners, what you're all about. And you know what really shocked me about all this is that most of these people and every single person in this book that I've put together is $1 million online marketer, $1 million plus in sales online, and every single one of them said yes, and most of them met with me within the week. So I went on there, recorded it, got someone to type up what they heard, and I had a book. So I have all these people I've talked to. I've kind of titled it Secret Conversations with Internet Millionaires, but I want to title this as something that someone will find on Amazon. So just like this person, Tom Lancaster, called his book, what was it again? Like Freelance Programming for Profit. So if someone searched freelance programming, then they would find this book. So let me just do a search on Amazon for like, I don't know, how to make money, maybe like online. Let me see what comes up there. So we have a couple of people. So I don't really want to call my book Make Money Online, right? Because a lot of people have different things on here. If I want to talk this about internet marketing, there's a few things in here. And so what's really interesting about this is, so there are 24,000 results here in internet marketing. And then if I do a search on Google for internet marketing, then I will get 422 million results. So this is something that Lance and I love to do, is find a smaller search engine to get listed. That way we're a big fish in a small pond, not a small fish in a big pond, if that makes sense. It means that if someone is searching for a keyword, they will find our book instead of being buried on page 222 on Google. So I'm looking at some of these. So I'm looking for, internet marketing, how I made my first million on the internet, things like that. So I'm talking to these things, and I want to have like the millionaire part. So I want to see if someone has something like how to make $1 million online. I'm not sure if I want to promise that in the book, but so I'm kind of looking around, and so I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. Then they go to this thing called the Google External Keyword Tool, and then some people will tell you to like search for this. And so let's see, we do internet marketing, and so it's really easy along every step of this way. You just get stuck. And it just say, well, shoot, do I name my thing Internet Marketing Strategies? Let me figure out what people search on here. Let me search for like the biggest thing. If people are saying how to. So if I do like, let's see, what do we have in here? Search engine optimization. Do I talk about digital marketing? And people get all stuck and they spend hours and hours trying to think of the perfect title. But what's really cool is that once your book is published in Kindle, you can change the name and you can add this basically long tail keyword stuff. And so at the end of the day, I think it's more important to just put a book online than it is to look on Google, look on keyword tools. This is kind of good just to get an idea of what people are searching for, but at the end of the day, let me just put the freaking thing online, and then if I need to rename it or change things a little bit, then I'll deal with that later. So people say, okay, well, I can put my book online. Oh, shoot, but I have to have a really cool cover like this person does. Well, you actually don't have to. If I search for a very cool guy named Lance Tomashiro, if I search for his book on Amazon, he has two books. Well, one is co-authored with me, but he has this one called Facebook Fan Pages, and this is just what Lance, like a, there we go, 24-page book, and he didn't add a cover. They added an ugly cover for him, and you know what he can do is he can go back later on and add a cover. He can go back here and tweak the title a little bit and add the keywords he wants to get it boosted in the ranking. But at the end of the day, it's more important to have a book on there and then worry about that next step, worry about getting it ranked. So, I mean, I have this Word document, and what do you think if I just put it online right now? So all I have to do is I log into Amazon's Kindle publishing kind of thing, and I go over to my bookshelf. I say add new title, and we can go over here and I'll serial enroll in this, and then let me just get the title of the book. All right, so I've got the title right there, Secret Conversations with Internet Millionaires, and it might say, since I kind of saw a few things in here like internet marketing, search engine optimization, some like business stuff. So how to make money online with an internet marketing business. That way I'll capture all kinds of different long tail keywords like this. And just out of curiosity, if I search Amazon, that might be kind of a cool keyword, internet marketing business, and then do my Google keyword tool for internet marketing business. And maybe I'll make it a exact search. Not sure if that'll help me. All right. So we get 60,000 searches in here. So I mean, not millions, but still a good amount. And if I was trying to get that ranked on Google, there's hundreds of millions. On Amazon, only 18,000, and some of them are not very good. Some of them are things like Pinterest or things where I can probably, some of them are SEO. I can probably outrank some of these. So I've got my title here, not part of a series. I'll put in my little publisher, and then for my description, let me see if I have, I think I have something in the first page here. Here we go. I'll just put this first page of the book here as a description. Boom. That's taken care of. And let me just format this a little bit. And so what's really cool is that all of these things are easily changed. And so it doesn't matter if you're not following every single step here. I'm just getting something out of the way here. And what's cool is we can add contributors. So I interviewed people like David Kavanaugh. This is a, I guess another one of my authors, right? There's actually, I'll put me first. So I can put Robert Plank. I can put Lance Tomashiro. I can put Armin Morin. I can put David Kavanaugh. Whoops, David Kavanaugh. And what's really cool too is that these people are all in my book. So I'm not spamming, I'm not doing anything like that, but because they were contributors, yeah, I wish there was like a contributor, I guess not, but because they're in the book, if someone searches their name, then they will show up, my book will show up under their name. Leave all this stuff blank. A lot of people get caught up on the ISBN. This is not public domain. I'll add in a couple of categories. Let me see if there's like a business. Here we go. We'll look for, is there like an internet, or is there a marketing? Marketing perfect, and I think there's like a technology or like a computers. There's like an internet, maybe not. All right. So let's see. Let me find business. Sure. Let's just put in a couple categories for now. Put in some keywords: internet marketing, make money online, search engine optimization, pay per click, blogging, traffic. Let's do it. Book cover, I don't care for now. And we will let people lend it. And then boom, ready just to upload this Word document that we have right here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the book. Where is it? got the book from my desktop, secret conversations, and save and continue. Whoops. So it's something does not work. Book content file and upload book. Sorry about that. So while this is uploading, let's talk about what the heck I just did. I just did a bunch of crazy stuff, and basically, I am uploading a book on Amazon. Okay, lots of clicking around, but that's the gist of it. Amazon allows you to upload a Word document, and then now you're published. But the problem that everyone else skips when they show you these things like Kindle is that they assume that you already have a book, right? Or they assume that you know how to put together a book, and they just say, oh, well, you know what, just type it out. Well, yeah, if I had, you know, a year or so to put together a book, then fine. And about a month ago, there was this thing, it's been going on for like 10 years. Have you heard about it? It's called like NaNoWriMo, and all these book writing nerds pretty much spend all month trying to write about, whoops, where'd my pen go? They try to write about 50,000 words. That way they can have a book published. And it used to be that they would all just kind of, you know, write it just for fun, but now they've ended up publishing on a Kindle. But and I know a couple of writing nerd friends, and they just like, they complain, they bitch and moan all month about, I've got to write another 100 words. And you know what's really cool? Is that I have a system now where I can just speak out a book, and it took me a long time to figure out the speaking part of it, and even longer to figure out the book part, but I could actually have done this, and I have done things like this in about 5 hours to have a long book. Now, luckily, you can get away on things like Kindle and even CreateSpace with 10,000 words or less. Just to give you an idea of what 10,000 words is, that's about 30 full-size sheets of paper. Now, if you have a book that's this smaller size, right? I mean, now this can easily be like 50 pages because it's like a little pocket-sized book, and they're totally fine with it. And does it really matter how long a book is as long as it has the information? Well, I think that as long as it's condensed down, that might be even more helpful. So I finally cracked the code for you finishing a short book, and there's a lot of different components. There's like a technical component, and there's a psychological, like a mindset component. I finished the motivational part of it. I can get you to complete it and not just have like an open-ended, half-done book. I get you to stick to it and be excited about it until its completion. But then I can also make it very, very cheap for you and hook you up with someone who can easily get your book to really stand out and really be something that you're proud to have your name on it. But then once it's even on there, I can show you how to get it in the hands of 1,000 copies or 1,000 different people. And if I, oh, this is still uploading. Okay, so this is still doing that. So if I look at how my Kindle book is selling, at least this month, this one book, 100 Time Savers, I got it in the hands of 1,333 people just from enrolling it in a certain program and promoting it in a certain way. And every time I click the button, I can get another 1,000 people to look at this book. So pretty cool about promoting it. And in the past, if you were a digital author, if you put out ebooks, you're kind of a pariah, you're kind of an outsider. But now Amazon loves for you to have books published. And I was even on a webinar a couple of months ago from the guy who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, and it was a live webinar kind of like this one. People could ask questions, and someone asked, what do you think about digital publishing? And his answer was, I wished I digitally published the Chicken Soup for the Soul books because my editor has his own private plane and I don't. So something to think about there. And what's also cool about, like we said, publishing things by yourself is the speed. You don't have anyone else telling you, I don't like this chapter, I don't like this title, I don't like this part of the book. You can just have an idea and get it done, and I can show you how to do it in an hour, so now you can do it every day if you want. And I've even, like you saw me upload that Word document to Kindle, you can do something very similar and upload a Word document to their physical publishing company, Amazon's physical publishing house called CreateSpace, and I took that same book that's on Kindle and turned it into a print book. This is the proof copy they sent me just to kind of see how the cover is, see how the binding is, the print. I could look at it on the back. I could see how that looks. It's got its own special ISBN number. It's a real book. So when we first started talking a few minutes ago, we were talking about how you need to kind of be out there, you need to have a real presence on the internet so that way people find you from all these different ways. And so I've done this, but it does take a long time, right? It takes a long time to come up with 500 articles. It took a long time to write the different blog posts and set up the different blogs that we have on webinars, on setting up websites, on membership sites, on securing a WordPress blog. I've got ranked on different categories in this site called Easy Articles. So why am I showing you this? Because there's this thing that I call, and I haven't found a less cheesy way of saying this, but your brain has to be just dispensing so much stuff that you need to be leaking content out your ears because you're talking. I mean, chances are you're talking about these things anyway. You might as well get paid for it. What do I mean? I mean, if you're a WordPress nut, WordPress enthusiast, then chances are if someone puts you on an internet marketing form or someone calls you on the phone asking you what's the best WordPress security plugin, what's the best SEO plugin, what are your top 5 favorite plugins, what's your favorite WordPress theme, chances are that they can't shut you up about it. So instead of talking on the phone or instead of talking and not making money, I'd rather talk and make money. And here's what's really awesome is that there's no law saying that you can't repeat yourself. There's no law saying that you can't put out 5 articles basically saying the same thing. There's no law saying that you can't record a YouTube video saying something and showing how to secure a WordPress blog, and then go out and record a podcast on the same thing, and then run a webinar like this one, teaching the same thing, and then put out a blog post saying the same thing, and then even put out a Kindle book saying the same thing, and then take that same Word document, put it on CreateSpace, and now suddenly you're everywhere. And at first you might think, well, geez, aren't I boring people? I'm saying the same thing. Well, that's only true if someone finds all the different little pieces that you put around the internet, but they don't. Right? You put all here's you, and here's all the things you put out on the internet. These are just different ways for someone to find you, and it leads right back to you. They only see that one little floater you put out there. And if they do happen to find out that you have a book and they buy that and you say pretty much the same thing, you know what most authors call that, or most coaches and marketers call that? They call that having a consistent message. So that ends up being pretty cool. And then the way that Lance and I get traffic and market online is we just end up being everywhere. So that if you go to YouTube and you search for the phrase membership site, the #1 organic result is a video that's been out for 3 years by Mr. Lance Thomas Sherwood himself. You click on that and you end up going right back to our site. That's the name of the game. You have all these different ways of people coming back to your site, right? And then you have multiple ways of people coming and finding you. And what's really awesome is that the more content you have out there, the more ideas people get you. And this is even better than ideas that you think of from yourself, because these are the things that people actually are asking for. I mean, I don't know about you, but my problem is not lack of ideas. I have tons of ideas. I have a ton of things I want to do, but there's just not enough hours in the day. The problem is just following through and creating all this stuff. And, you know, I'll kind of sit down for a few minutes at a time and crank out a video. And this might seem like a lot of work to you, like, oh, you made a whole 2 minutes, a whole 5 minutes. But if you do this on a regular basis, then it's no sweat. It's like brushing your teeth. It's like walking to the mailbox outside. If it's something you do for a couple minutes every day, it's no big deal. And then little things add up to lots and lots of traffic. And even individual videos, you can see, okay, well, this is a popular video. People stayed for a certain amount of time. I'm going to make more videos like that. Even if they're kind of similar, or even if they're updates to old videos, who cares? It takes me a few minutes. I do it in one take, and it lasts, and it stays on the internet for a lifetime. And then I can kind of see where things come. People end up coming back to my site, they end up leaving comments, they end up joining my list, they end up buying my products, and then all these things over time add up to all kinds of different traffic. And then once I have traffic, then I can geek out on all the little numbers and see, okay, well, I've got this number of views, this number of views, and that's kind of your reward, right? It's like winning the money in the slot machine. You see the numbers go up and up and go ding, 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 ding. Well, cool, because I put up this one piece of content and it took me a couple of minutes, and now I get hundreds and hundreds of views, and then how many clicks it adds up to times how many articles I have, it all really adds up. And then you end up getting pretty much more traffic to your sites than you know what to do with. And then you keep seeing what brings people to my sites. And then I get more ideas for other books, other videos, other articles, and on and on and on. Okay, so in order to survive, because I forget the number, but there are literally millions of people coming online every day. It's only a matter of time until countries like China just open things up and let everyone visit every site. Until, for example, China lets everyone, like billions of people on Facebook. Well, then what are you going to do? Well, for years, everyone's been so worried about, well, this country's adding more people online, or because cellular and because Wi-Fi's are around and because computers are so cheap, there's going to be so much competition, and so you will have to be around to survive. The good news is that a lot of search engines reward people who have been on for longer. That means that if your book has been published for years and years and you go and update it, they like that. If Google sees that you have an established site, like a blog, and it's been online for years and years and you've been even updating it a few times a year or once a month, they will rank you higher than a site that just came online yesterday. And that's pretty much all you can do, because trying to understand Google is like having a system for playing the lottery. Now, if I put out a piece of content, I get all these views, all these clicks, that's great, but it's not like I'm expecting them, and it's not like I have any control or I have any way of knowing why this article or this video or this website or that book got more clicks than anything else. It's just kind of the motion of the ocean. It's just like it kind of does what it wants. I'm just along for the ride. People worry so much about this thing called duplicate content and more things that hold them back. Like, for example, when we were publishing this book, people would be so concerned about, well, what is my description? What's my book title? When all you really do is just save and continue and put that freaking book online. And so people worry about things like duplicate content. And so I wrote an article in 2005 called I think How to Build a Forum That Doesn't Fall Apart. Let me see if how to, yeah, part 2 months later. And if I search that and I put it in quotes just so that we can be sure it's mine, there's 13,900 copies of the same article that I wrote in 2005, and the site that it links to at the bottom doesn't even go to a real site anymore. And there's nothing to this article. It's just pretty much common sense. It's very short. I think it's like not even 300 words, and it's on 13,000 sites. So if anyone ever tells you that you can't put out multiple copies because of duplicate content, then send them here, because the same exact article is listed 13,000 times in Google. Google doesn't like for you to put the same article multiple places on your same website, but they're fine with the same piece of content being recycled. I mean, isn't that what like the Associated Press, the Newswire, is all about? There's someone has something to say, and copies get distributed to all these different other places. That's the name of the game. That's called article marketing. Okay, so people will worry about duplicate content. Will my site look okay on a mobile site, or should I have a mobile-only site? Or, you know what, Google Panda version 3 really sucks, or Google Penguin really destroyed my business. Well, you know what? All these updates to the search engines are just meant to provide a better user experience. And so what I mean by that is if someone goes to Google and they search for drip content, all Google wants and all Bing wants, Facebook, YouTube, all they want is to give people the answer to what they've been asking for. So what I mean by that is if someone is looking for a drip content solution for a membership site, they type in drip content. If Google delivers just a ton of spam or a ton of garbage or a ton of opt-in pages or just like stuff that no one wants, then that hurts Google because people will use Google less. So Google wants you to make information easily accessible, and so they will reward you if people search for something, and they'll reward you if more and more people click on things. They'll reward you if your site is around and has been established. They'll reward you, and they actually can track if someone clicks on a link. They can track how long someone stays on your site. How? Because if you click on a link here and immediately click back, they record that. And over time, over who knows how many visitors, if everyone clicks on a link and clicks back within 5 seconds, they start to say, well, maybe maybe if everyone's leaving immediately, this is not a helpful site. But if people click and they don't go back to Google, they click and they come back after 5-10 minutes, Google starts to say, that's a relevant site, reward that. And I mean, they do all kinds of crazy ways of tracking what's a relevant site or not, but that's all they want. And that way, if you think in those kinds of terms, you don't have to worry about, let me exploit this loophole or fight Amazon or Google or get around this or that. Just think about what it is they want. What is it? I mean, because all you want is you want to partner with these big giant sites, right? So what does Google want? What does Amazon want? They want someone to come to their site, search in the search box with their problem, and they want to be the ones to deliver that solution. And so if you're the one who gives Google what they want, then you will rank. And so what Lance and I call this is reverse SEO. What that means is we put out a few articles, a few things, and then we look at what sells. We look at what comes back to our site, and then we just deliver more of that because that's Google's way, that's Amazon's way of telling us what it is they want, and then we'll just give them more of what they want. So, I mean, makes sense, right? I mean, that's what all of information marketing, product creation is about, is what do people want? Where is there not enough value or not enough solutions or not the right answer being supplied, and give it. The only reason why Lance and I came out with a membership course is because there was no membership course delivering what a lot of people were asking for. When we put out a plugin, when we put out a course, it's just that we have a solution that people need, but no one is really providing it in the way that we think they should be providing it. So we're the one to fill that gap. And so that's what you need to be doing on a bigger scale from Amazon.com by basically becoming an author, by having a book, just like how this guy, where is it? Where did he go? This guy, Tom Lancaster, if I can bring up my slides again, came out with this book because people were looking for a couple of things. They were programmers, or maybe they had some kind of computer skill. Maybe they only knew HTML, or only knew JavaScript, or only knew WordPress. Maybe they're not like a full-blown programmer, but they want to know how to make money being a freelance programmer. They search for maybe my name, maybe his name, maybe the term freelance programming. Not sure what led them to that book, but they ended up with that book, and as you saw, like at least one person went out of his way to contact me and to look up my email address, look at my websites, maybe get it on my list, just because I helped him out, and I want you to help other people out too. But here's what the problem is, though, is that you end up struggling with coming up with a book. And so this is that that proof copy that I showed you a few minutes ago. Where's that cover again? That cover is right here, right? This thing that was mailed to me within like a day or two from Amazon.com, they sent me this book, right? But then I looked into it and I thought, oh man, there's all kinds of things I want to change and mark up, and I marked up all kinds of things in this book, and then got discouraged and then kind of put it away and forgot about it. So I don't want you to waste as much time, to waste as many months as I did, fooling around on Kindle, getting caught up from on one little thing in this thing, saying, oh, should I do worldwide? What should my royalty be? What should I charge? Let's just make it 99 cents. Should I charge in all these other, sell in all these other countries? Well, fine. Geez, they make you click all kinds of stuff. Allow lending, and then boom, save and publish. And so what's happened now is, while I was talking and being real fast and clicking, well, now my 99-cent book, Secret Conversations with Internet Millionaires, which is I think 5 or 6 different interviews with me, Lance Tamashiro, Armin Morin, David Kavanaugh, Stu McLaren, Willie Crawford, Kevin Riley. It is now in review, and in a couple of days, Amazon will get back to me, and Amazon will tell me that they've approved the book for 99 cents, and now anyone with a web browser can buy it, anyone with an iPhone, with a Kindle device, with an iPad. And here's what's really cool, a lot of people don't know, is that in your Amazon account, there's pretty much anyone can read an ebook now. And so there's like a Kindle library here. I can open up, say, the 4-Hour Chef and check this out. I can read a book. If this opens up, I can read a book right here in my web browser. And I'm not sure if it's, here we go. Let me just scroll over here. Here's the latest book from Mr. Timothy Ferriss. And I can just read this book right here from my web browser. And because this book is in my Kindle library, I can read this on my iPhone, iPad, Kindle book, and all that kind of stuff. And so anyone can do that for you as well, but you need to get a book online. And you need to not worry about a lot of things like what price should it be? The answer is 99 cents. How long should my book be? The answer is about 20 pages. What should my book be about? The answer is if you have a website, if you have a blog, if you have a product already, then make the book the general version of that. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but most print books, most Kindle books, they don't really have that many pictures. So let's just say that your niche was I don't know, accounting using Microsoft Excel. Your book would be all about that, but you just explain to them different things about Excel, maybe have a picture or two, but definitely don't go overboard with the step by step. You just explain concepts to them. And I guess you still kind of do like a step by step, but you still get them from one point to another point, but we're not going to go crazy with showing them everything. That's what your website's for. That's what your product for. You're just giving them the terms and you're giving them the things that they need to know. So what I want for you is to do what I just did in the last few minutes is upload your Word document to Kindle. And then, guess what? To get a physical book, you also upload your Word document to CreateSpace. And there is a little bit of a formatting issue there, and I want to help you and show you how to do that. And they also have a fairly new point-and-click cover creator, so you can make a book pretty easily there. So you can now publish a handful of short books to Amazon this year and next year, so that people can find you and have fun doing it so that you want to repeat it over and over again. Now, filling out the form is easy once you know what to fill in and what not to fill in. The only problem is coming up with the content. But what people have been teaching up until now is, you know what you should do is you should go and buy these things called PLR, or you should go and grab content from all around the internet, and that works to a point, but if you're not careful, you'll get a letter like this. Amazon sent me this letter. I don't know if you can read all of it, but basically I used a few of my blog posts from my blog for a couple chapters here and there in the book. It was probably about less than 10% of the book, and so they just said, well, what's up here? We found parts of your book, not all of it, but some chapters available online. Explain yourself. And so no big deal. I just had to respond and say, well, those are sample chapters. Those are there to help promote my book. They're on my blog, robertplank.com, which is owned by me, and the book is also published by me. They just wanted a little clarification. I had to resubmit. But if you went and grabbed public domain material, if you grabbed private label right material, then chances are Amazon will not allow the book to be published. So the easy answer is spend an hour talking, and then you have a book that's 100% yours, okay? And put it on Kindle. So what really amazed me the other day is that Kindle has been around for 5 years now. And they did start with like a kind of a closed community, but I mean, think about it. When's the first year that you heard about Amazon Kindle books or about the Kindle Reader? It's been years and years now. So people are now in a very good place. They're used to digital books. They've at least bought music on iTunes or maybe bought movies on Amazon, whatever they call it, instant video. So people are getting used to digital books, and all it takes to become a published Amazon author is to upload a Word document and fill out a form. And I know someone who my sister went to high school with who put out a book on Kindle, and all of her friends were saying, "Oh my gosh, you're awesome! You're a published author!" And I was just kind of laughing because I thought, well, she knew where to go. She knew how to upload a Word document. The only issue is getting that Word document made. But what I'll do is I'll upload the Word document, and then once it's published, then I'll later on go back and hit spell check and upload an updated version. And then anyone who bought that Kindle book or downloaded it, those devices check every day, and then that book will end up updating and they'll have the newest book. So I mean, I hope I'm not being a broken record here. You need to have a Kindle book, a CreateSpace book. You need to be a published author, because if someone is looking to listen to someone's blog or get on someone's list, or how about buy someone's course, let's just say that there's you, and there's someone who's, let's just say, a competitor, right? Someone who's very similar to you, they have similar products, all that. If you're the one with the book and they don't have a book and everything else is identical, well, who the heck do you think they're going to go through? What's really cool is by being on Amazon, well, Amazon itself is a search engine, but other search engines love Amazon. If I go and search for 100 time savers in Google, the top result is an Amazon link. And I own the domain 100timesavers.com, but I mean, the first two results are Amazon.com. So very interesting there how Amazon has huge rankings. I bet if I do it in quotes, I'll get my domain name somewhere. But even then, it's like, it's way down here, right? So Amazon gets people back to you. And I want you to have a book on Amazon. But I know, there's all kinds of excuses why you don't have a book. Like, it's too hard, it takes too long, I have to go get it edited and every single thing kind of fixed, I've got to make a book cover, if someone else writes it, it won't sound like me, it sounds really expensive. Well, let's just blow through all these. If you think it's too hard, well, Amazon is fine with you publishing a 5,000 word book. They consider that a book. That's what a lot of the $1, $2 books are. That's what's pretty much the standard there. And if you think about it, even if you didn't have pictures, if you didn't have short paragraphs, then half an hour of talking, even talking slowly, even talking with pauses, gives you a decently sized Kindle book. And if you think, well, it's tough for me to talk for half an hour or for 60 minutes, well, that's false if you use a system. If you work off of an outline where it's not so restrictive that everything's scripted, but it also makes sure that you stay on track and don't leave anything out. And I've perfected a foolproof system for outlining your how-to book, another system for filling up each chapter of your book, and it's the same similar system I use for sales letters, webinars, videos, reports, but now it's been modified for Kindle. So if you use a system, then it's easy, okay? And if you just follow my steps about what to charge, like, do I want to get the 35% royalty or the 75%? Do I want to charge $2.99 or 99 cents? I'll tell you what price to charge and you'll just do it. Now, if you're worried about editing or typos, well, I have one system for you to speak it, another system for you to transcribe it, another system for you to hire someone for literally $20 for a 1 hour audio, $10 for a half an hour audio, and just to get it edited. They check it for spelling, grammar, if it makes sense, readability, they'll reword things. And the trick here, if you've tried hiring someone to transcribe or to edit, and you ended up paying way too much, or they weren't very good, it's just that you hired the wrong person, and so you have to follow my system of posting a certain kind of job, disqualifying candidates that don't fit off the bat, interviewing candidates to kind of shorten that list, and then hire that right person. And there are just a handful of things that I look for. That way I can easily see, okay, they edited this sample page, I'm looking for this, 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 this. Either they're a hire or they're a no hire. Okay, so as long as, once again, you just blindly follow my steps, which I've used over and over again that have been proven to work, you don't have to think, you don't have to spend time, you don't have to spend a lot of money either. Now, a cover. I already showed you that if you just upload a book as is, like Lance did, they give you a cover. You can go back and worry about that later. But if you really want a cover, which, I mean, once it's online, then sure, go back and add the cover. I can show you how to get a cover for less than $6.50. Because if you've tried just going to some random job site and saying, give me a Kindle cover, maybe you didn't get something that you wanted, right? Or if you tried paying 3 times as much as you should and paying for 3 different covers and throwing out the 2 that sucked, well, then you wasted a bunch of money and wasted a bunch of time. So instead, once again, use my system, use my selection process to hire the right person. And then once you hire them, now you might not even know about this step, but if you ask them for your cover in the wrong way or not give them the information that's most helpful, then you won't get a cover that you want. They might be a good graphic designer, but if you don't get your message or your ideas across in the right way, you won't get a cover that you like. Now, question. Will these covers win any awards? Probably not. But is this a better job than I could have done by myself? Well, of course. And now, how much did I pay for these covers? $10 for both of them. So, and these came back in about 24 hours. So pretty cool, right? And it's all just about, I hired the right person, and then I told them the right thing, and then it just came back, and now I can just plug this in. And if at some point I get tired of it, if I say, well, you know what, I don't really like this like green stuff right here, I can just go and have them make a new one or have someone else make a new one. But I'm more of a fan of just having something from like the first version out there, and then the next graphic designer can kind of look at what someone else did and build upon their ideas. Okay, so $10, both these covers, done in a day, didn't have to worry about it. And I mean, it looks like, I mean, some people would have paid hundreds of dollars for these. I did $10, but no one has to know that, so shh, don't tell anybody. So, all right, if you're worried that your book isn't going to sound like you, I've already told you that I will show you how to get it transcribed, edited, get a cover, all that stuff. Well, this is why you have to do it. If you've ever tried to have someone write a book for you or ghostwrite, it just didn't sound like you at all, and you read it and you cringe, you say, there's no way I would have ever said that. So if I can be 100% honest here, I bought the lie. I listened to the wrong people that you might have, who told you that, you know what, you can just record a video and then someone can turn it into an article, and someone else can turn it into a video, and someone else can turn that into a press release, and someone else can turn that into a book, and you can just have all these different things. And I've tried it every different way. It doesn't work. The secret is that if you know you're going to make a book, and that's what you're speaking out, then you'll speak it much more slowly and much more carefully. And I can't 100% explain it, but if you know that you're speaking out an article, then you'll have an article. If you know you're doing a webinar, you'll have a webinar. If you know you're doing a podcast, then you'll come up with something that sounds like a podcast, but you don't want to have a book that feels like a collection of articles. You don't want a book that feels like a webinar transcript unless like it was that one where there were the interviews. But if you sit down and you know you're going to speak out a book and you just do it in a few minutes, then you'll have a book come back to you. So it's okay to repeat yourself. It's okay to have a consistent message across all those podcasts and blog posts and books and all that kind of stuff. But if you know you're making a book ahead of time, then you'll speak extra slowly and carefully, and you'll take your time and you'll do it right. So you need to make a book in your own voice, and if you know that you're speaking out a short book, not the novel War and Peace, you're speaking out a short 20 sheet of pages book. Whoops, where's my pen? 20 sheets of pages, full-size pages, but once it's on CreateSpace on Kindle, now it's 50 pages or more. Okay, so once you know what you're going to speak out, then you'll be just fine. So if you're worried that a book, if the transcription process, if that sounds at all expensive, well then here's all you need to know, is that it takes a transcriptionist about 4 times the length of your audio to get it transcribed. That means if you speak out a 1-hour audio, it'll take them 4 hours. Now if you find the right person, if you can find someone who'll do it for $5 an hour, then $20. And now if you've gone to the right, or if you've gone to the wrong place, if you've used the wrong system to hire someone, they might quote you $200, $2,000, but use my system and you'll have someone who transcribes your audio accurately, quickly, and cheaply. It seems impossible, but they do actually all 3 of those. I'm usually quoted about $2 a minute to get an audio transcribed, so $120 for a book. I mean, sure, for a book, that seems like quite a bit. And then for editing, for about a 1-hour audio, then someone asks for $500. Well, but then if you go to someone who says $5 or $50, you get crap. So you just use my system to hire and interview the right person, and then once you hire them, then give them my pre-idiot, proof-removed instructions so that they can't mess it up. So here are the 5 reasons why you don't have a book yet, you're not famous, is that you thought it was too hard, but you can do it in an hour or less. Editing, well, if you hire the right person using my hiring process and my instructions, then it's fine. A book cover, well, once again, you go to the one site I go to, and I only use this site for book covers. Hire the right person, give them the right instructions, you'll have what you want. Don't use a ghostwriter, instead speak it out, that way it sounds like you, it says what you want. And now, I guess you've outsourced the boring part, you've outsourced the labor, but the skill, the speaking out, the message, the content, that's you. But the dirty work, the cover, the typing it out, the editing, the grammar, the spelling, someone else did that and did that for a very cheaply. So you did all this, and now you have a book for Kindle, for CreateSpace. It's published. Once again, this is where a lot of people stop. But you can get 1,000 readers in a day. And I mean, first of all, you have to have this Word document online, have it published, get your $5 cover, and then we enroll this into a program called KDP Select. And what this pretty much means is, and if you've been following me on Facebook at all, you can, for 5 days every 90 days, whoops, you can give your book away for free. And I need to log into Facebook here. Let's see, where's the Robert Plank Show? Here's the Robert Plank Show. I use Facebook to give away copies of my book, and it seems to not be loading. But pretty much you can have days where you give away copies of your book, just like when I showed you the report here, 1,300. Now, why would you do that? Well, because this gets you increased rankings in Amazon, gets you reviews, and when people loan the book out, and I think it's like once a month someone can loan a book out to their friends, you actually get paid for that. They treat it as a sale. Amazon puts about, I don't know if they have a banner or not anymore, they put between $700,000 and $1.5 million into a pool, and they give away all that money every month. And so what happens is when you get a book that's lended, and once I do a promotion, there's a few of these every day, and it builds up over time. All of these people get a tiny slice of that $1 million. And so the way it works out, I think on a typical month I get about $2 per lens, and on when they add more, it's about $5 per lens. But it's not unusual for people to get $1,000 from promoting their book, from people lending it and borrowing it. Amazon picks up the bill for that. And then plus, once you get ranked even more from that and people legitimately buy your book, you get paid for that as well. So there's lots of ways that Amazon Kindle will pay you because they want you to publish a book, because it's in their best interest for lots and lots of books to be in their library, because then people will use their search engine, use their service for books, and they'll get what they want. There are free directories to list your Kindle book, which this is new because it used to be we were kind of on our own to get people to buy our book, but now you can give it to all these people to kind of be the first seed buyers of your book. You can use Facebook fan pages. Like I said, more and more people are now used to buying digital books. Okay, so if you were trying to create a book, publish a book, promote a book on your own, well, you'd kind of fumble around and try to figure out how they want it done. This is what I did, right? I tried all the mistakes, I tried all the crazy harebrained ideas, and some of them were just made up, actually most of them. I did this a bunch of times, figured out what worked, and then removed what didn't work so that we had a very quick, very easy system that pays off every single time. And I did what we kind of call the minimum effective dose, right? So I did just enough time and effort and money to get the same amount of money and readers and traffic back. And I want to do the same thing for you. And this is inside of a system that we have called Make a Product, where you can claim the unlimited free traffic that you deserve. Now, in the past, we used this, and what's really cool is you can use this same system for blog posts, articles, magazine articles, guest blog posts, content for membership sites, and just get all your ideas out there. But now we can show you how to become an authority, a published author, anything you want in just an afternoon to get push button free traffic, products, money on demand, or your money back. And a place to go right now is www.makeaproduct.com. That's makeaproduct.com. We have our brand new Make a Product 3.0 system where in the past, we've shown you how to make articles. That still works, but I also want you to become a bestseller on Kindle and CreateSpace, get your cover made, get someone to edit it, and get it out there and promote your book and do it and get the book made in under an hour, because that's the hardest part. That's what that hangs everyone up. They think they need weeks or months or years to make a book. Just make a short one. Just make a handful of these, and you get the same result. So in Make a Product 3.0, you get our Make a Product 100 series, where we show you how to make an article in 6 minutes, how to make audio products, reports, emails. That's all good. The 200 series, where we show you how to use a team to generate hundreds of articles like I've done. That's all good. But now we're using the same system, the same point-and-click technology. You can literally go into our membership area, click a few buttons, fill in a form, and we'll show you the exact job to post to these job sites. to get your cover made, to get your audio transcribed. We'll show you how to make your audio, and we're going to meet live for me actually, to plan my future best-selling book and to get my cover made, and you can follow along with me too. Then I'm going to speak out my book, and if you want to speak out your book after me or while I'm doing it, if you want to do it together, that's fine, but we want to speak out our book in under an hour. Because if you hit that record button and you have that right outline, that right structure, and you start talking and you follow that outline and you say what you want to say, then you're done. You just talk, 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 you get it recorded, and now let someone else type it up and edit it and make it all make sense. And for that part, you can hire a professional editor for less than minimum wage. For about under 20 bucks, you can talk for an hour and have someone edit it out so that it's a publishable book. If you only want to go for half an hour, then great. The editor costs 10 bucks, but these prices have never been seen before, along with this quality and this speed. And then finally, put it on Kindle. Take that same thing and put it on CreateSpace, and they want you to format this graphic in a certain way, get the Word document sized this certain way, and I fumbled around with this for a long time, for months, and sometimes I come across one roadblock and give up for the next week or two. But if you just follow along as I do it, then we have it all done before, because I know you've at least thought about having a book at some point. Maybe you've looked into it a little bit, but chances are you've got discouraged or maybe just stopped doing it. So I want you to make a book in an hour and get 1,000 people to get your book in a day. Okay, so we've got the 100 series, 200 series. We're going to have you make your best-selling book and cover, speak it out, get it edited. And what's really cool about this is I actually want you to put your book as it comes back online. Without a cover, just the transcript itself, put that online. That way you have it online. Then go back and add a cover. Then go back and publish the updated version. Then go back and run your promotion. But it's more important for you to make these baby steps and always have something online than it is for it to all magically fall into place one day, because it never will. What will work is to steadily make increasing improvements. So put your book online, because the good news is you can go back and update it as many times as you want later on. I'm going to give you a bunch of extra bonuses, like different assignments, challenges. There's a community in there. If you want to then use articles to promote your site and your book, you can. Or point and click outsourcing templates for getting your audio transcribed into a book, getting that transcript proofread into something that looks like it was professionally done, a professional cover that costs $5. I want to give you 550 Robert Plank written articles that you can do whatever you want with. If you want to use this to pad your book, if you want to use this to help promote your book, anything that you want, make a little bonus for your book that's not on Kindle. That's always a cool little bonus. But I'm going to give you 550 articles that I've personally written that you can use any way that you want. There are assignments in there. You can get back to the video recordings anytime that you want for a total value today of $4,640. Now, I know many people who will gladly put your Kindle and CreateSpace book online so long as you wrote it already, right? Give me a manuscript and put it online. I'll hit the one button and there you go. But wouldn't you rather, for $46.40, get the whole system and be done in an hour? Well, I know what the answer is for me. But the good news is it's not $46.40, it's not $29.97, it's not $19.97, it's not $14.97, it's not $9.97, it's not $8.97, it's not $7.97, it's not $6.97, it's not $5.97, it's just $497 to dictate your next year's worth of articles in a day. That's one system we have in there. To get a handful of articles and blog posts, that's kind of cool. But what I really want us to focus on, and we're going to meet this coming Saturday, is to use the same system. But if you know going into it that you're speaking out a book, and you do it in one sitting, that way you don't have to come back to it and psych yourself up. You just do it and it's done. You get your digital book published. Then you use that same document to get your print book published. Cool. Now you're a published author. And now you can run everything on autopilot. And anytime you want to publish a new book and you have a free hour, then just get that done and then apply our systems to hire the right person, interview the right person, and then give them the proper instructions. And I've done all the work figuring it out for you. So you say, well, you know what, 497, I'm in. But how about if it was 197? Would you be really, really, really in? Well, I hope so. So when you go to makeaproduct.com right now, you can get it not for 497 but for 197 at makeaproduct.com for our time limited offer. It's on discount from 497 down to 197. And now I'm looking at the question box. A couple people, they say, can I do like 2 payments? I want it, but I don't have the money. Well, if money is the only issue, if that's the only thing holding you back from getting a book out there in an hour and using my system to get 1,000 people to look at it in a day, if that's the only thing, if you're not on board for everything else, if you're ready to meet on Saturday for a live session, then do you want to take it home today for just $39.95? We've got a payment plan in there for, I think it's 5 payments of $39.95. So you can take as long as you want to pay it off for this lifetime membership, as long as you, and you can get in and get everything right now. As long as you stay good on your payments, you'll stay in, make your last payment, and you're in for life with no further payments at makeaproduct.com. So what I want you to do is get your short book created in an hour, get it published on Kindle and CreateSpace, and if you honestly follow my system and you honestly can't do it, then please ask for your money back and we'll gladly give it to you. In Make a Product, it's just $197. You can cancel at any time in 30 days. You can refund at any time in 30 days. And the only catch to this is if you stop paying or you refund, then you will lose access to our templates, to our system, to our community, all that good stuff, and I hope that's fair. So go right now to makeaproduct.com. That's makeaproduct.com. And now when you scroll down to the bottom, right here, you can get in for one payment of $197 or do our 5 pay, and you can take until April 2013 to pay it off. I don't even know how many weeks it is. That's a lot of weeks into the future. So the site to go to right now is makeaproduct.com. Go ahead, hurry up. There's no reason left to stay here. Go to www.makeaproduct.com to get all of our existing content right away, to meet with me on Saturday to get your book spoken out, transcribed, and published right away. And I hope to see you in the members area and on our private training call. That will be at makeaproduct.com. makeaproduct.com. We're going to close this webinar down right now. So the only place to go right now is at makeaproduct.com. And I mean, I know that you can benefit by having a book out there. I know that you've thought about, wouldn't it be cool if someone searched for me on Amazon.com, typed in my name, typed in my title, could buy my Kindle book for Christmas, could send my physical CreateSpace book to someone as a birthday present, and now you can, but you have to join Make a Product. You have to use my system and my training. Otherwise, you're just going to be fumbling around, because how far has that gotten you so far? Thinking about Kindle, thinking about CreateSpace, worrying about how do I get the book made, what's the form. Don't worry about that anymore. Just join Make a Product. I'll see you in there right away. My name is Robert Plank. Go to makeaproduct.com, and thank you very much.